Hey, Scruffy. How you doing? Scruffy had a big day today. He threw up at lunch, and then he slept in the carrier for the first time. So I'll talk more about that. But yeah, that's a major milestone for him, because he is usually completely terrified of the carrier. So I was completely surprised by that. Didn't think that would ever happen. I'm trying to get him to use the carrier for over 2 years now. Wow, they're going in too. Wow, Scruffy's getting much braver. The weather was okay today, so... Okay, I got your smelly fish. I heated it tonight. I can smell it. So last night I didn't heat the smelly fish because it was already room temperature because it was a fresh can. But I heated the rotisserie chicken scraps. And I couldn't smell the smelly fish. I could only smell the rotisserie. But tonight I heated both up, and all I can smell is the smelly fish. Camera lost focus because of Scruffy's tail. So yeah, the weather remains weird. The forecast continues to say we're getting rain every day throughout the forecast, but it keeps not raining. So it actually did rain a little bit overnight, but it was mostly dry by daytime, so it didn't rain that much. But yeah, I thought we were supposed to get more rain today, but yeah, it didn't materialize. It was actually very sunny, I think, at lunch. And then I thought about going out for a bike ride today. And so I went out, but yeah, by the time I hit the road, this afternoon, it wasn't raining, but yeah, it was, the sky was confusing, sort of like it was a few days ago when I went out and got caught in the rain. So there were parts of the sky that were, clear blue. And then there are other parts of the sky that had big, fluffy white clouds. And then there's other parts of the sky that had big, dark storm clouds. And the other day, yeah, big, dark storm cloud got over me and unleashed a bunch of rain on me. So I wasn't sure if that was going to happen today, but yeah, I didn't go out yesterday. So and I said the forecast is predicting rain every day, so I'm basically just looking for moments to get out when I can. Where are you going, Scruffy? Scruffy's been doing that for the past couple weeks. He's walking away from me and then comes back. Not sure what that means. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, I went out. I didn't get caught in the rain today, so that was good. The park where I go biking is still closed. I checked the websites, and yeah, there's still no news about reopening. They actually haven't updated any of the news announcements, so at least not that I can tell. Where are you going, Scruffy? So yeah, I had to use my alternate route again. Today I had a little bit more energy, probably because I didn't do anything yesterday. And near the top of my climb, there's a section of trail where it's the trail. There's a trail and a road, and they split. So there's a trail that parallels a road on the mountainside, and the trail, it's pretty wide. So get pedestrians and cyclists and also horses. And yeah, it's offset, and it's not even the same elevation as the road, so it's kind of protected. So I like using it because yeah, you're less likely to get run over by a car. Though when it rains, it gets really muddy. But yeah, today was not a problem. But anyway, yeah. So I was climbing up that trail, just getting near the end of it, and there was a guy who was basically had a horse on a leash, and the horse was taking a break, I guess, and he was just kind of, watching. And then also next to the horse was a sheep, and so I guess, yeah, they were both leashed to him, and he was just, I guess, letting the horse and the sheep eat. I don't think the sheep was actually eating at the time, but the horse was. So I guess the horse was taking a break from. I'm assuming the guy was riding the horse, and then maybe they had the sheep in tow. I don't know. I don't think I've seen that before. So I've seen people on horses, but I've never seen a guy also have a sheep in tow. So yeah, we were just on a trail. It wasn't like we weren't on anybody's property or anything like that. So this guy was, he probably had a farm or something not far from there. There are some. I know there's like a farm or something, maybe several, and then large properties with enough area to hold livestock. But yeah, that was a sight. So yeah, I'm not used to seeing seeing that. So that was interesting. So yeah, a horse and a sheep and a guy. And then when I got to the top of my climb, I did a little extended route, and I passed near one of the farms that I sometimes go past. And beyond that, there are more houses and stuff, and I guess they're not quite farms, but I guess they got a lot of property. And in somebody's front yard, there was a big giant turkey walking around in the brush. So yeah, it was kind of hidden in the brush, but I could, it was such a big turkey. It was, it was taller than the brush, so you could clearly see it. Yeah, it was a really big turkey, really tall. So don't see that, don't see that often either. So yeah, I guess the livestock came out today. So I think I'm gonna feed Scruffy. Okay, let's get your food. So I'm actually a little early today. And I noticed, the days are starting to get longer, or at least noticeably longer. So there's actually a tiny bit of sunlight right now. Not much, but a little bit. But yeah, I think pretty soon we're going to actually start having dinner time with some daylight. It's been a while. Oops. Okay, I'm done. So, what to talk about? Yeah, so I saw Scruffy on the table this morning, I think. Yes, so I saw him on the table this morning. At first he was sleeping, and it was approaching lunchtime, so I wasn't sure what to do. And then I think he saw me, so I thought he'd get off the table eventually and then come to the door for lunch. But he didn't. Instead, he went back to sleep. So at lunchtime, I was basically getting his food ready and also putting some dishes away. And he finally heard me, I think, probably banging some dishes, putting them away or something. And he woke up and then he jumped down off the table, waited for me at the door. And did lunch. He threw up at the very end of it again. And I decided to get him more kibble just to make up for or a little bit for, what he threw up. And I put it on, and then I came back out, and he was starting to eat his vomit. And I poured kibble on the plate, and he was content to continue eating his vomit. I know he eventually ate the kibble I gave him, but yeah, he cleaned up everything. So yeah, he doesn't seem to have a preference. Yeah, the vomited kibble, fresh kibble, all the same. So, and then after lunch, he was back on the table, and then I saw he approached the carrier, and then he went, I think, halfway in, and I think, I've seen him do that before. So he hates the carrier. He always avoids it. I've been trying to train him to not be afraid of the carrier by putting food in there. When I started this over 2 years ago. I don't do it that often. Now I just put kibble in there usually when I fill my kibble containers, I'll have kibble on hand, so I'll throw some in the carrier just to continue the regimen, even though it didn't seem to be working. And so I was surprised to see he was halfway in the carrier. And I thought maybe I put food in there today, but I wasn't near the carrier today, so I don't know what he'd think of that. But anyway, so he was halfway in the carrier. Usually what he does is he sticks his head in, grabs his food, and then darts back out so he doesn't get trapped in the carrier. But he then, instead of darting back out, he walked all the way in. And then he started grooming himself. And he remained in the carrier for, I'd say, at least another hour. So I filmed him. I thought maybe he'd dart back out, but he was content grooming. And then after a while, I got bored and I needed to do things. And then when I came back, probably within an hour, I could tell he was sleeping in the carrier. So it's actually a pretty huge shift. I've never seen him not be afraid of the carrier. So that's, yeah, big change. I don't know what prompted that. And yeah, the weather was not that bad today. It was, it was starting to get a little darker, gloomy this afternoon, but not that bad. And the temperature actually was warmer than yesterday, so it was actually not bad today. I was really cold overnight, but today in the daytime it's been warm. It's a little it's a little warmer than it's been. So like I don't need the glove right now. I'll keep my camera hand warm. Or keep it from freezing anyway. So I don't think it was the temperature that prompted him to go in. And then there was no wind, so he wasn't getting any shelter from the wind. So I'm guessing, he's gotten used to it, and maybe he likes the straw that I put in there now. So yeah, I got straw a little while back, trying to get him to use the new shelter I built him. I still haven't seen him really go in that, but I put some of the extra straw on the carrier, and so maybe it's more appealing now. I didn't see him bury himself in the straw, but it was actually hard to see him inside. There's little slits in the top of the carrier, but
Yeah, it's still hard to see him inside, but I didn't get the sense that he buried himself in the straw. So that was the excitement today.
Hey, Scruffy. How you doing? Scruffy was just sleeping on the big table. He was getting his water and kibble ready, and I was putting some dishes away, and he woke up. So he just jumped off the table. So we're about midway through lunch. Another sunny day. It's supposed to rain today. I think it rained overnight. Not much. I'm gonna have to go out this afternoon because the weather looks like it's gonna be good.
Tonight's dinner is smelly fish, kibble, and rotisserie chicken scraps. And as I said, I heated it tonight. Put a little extra kibble, but not that much because I gave him extra kibble at lunch because he threw up. And then he already has extra food because of rotisserie chicken scraps. Yeah, I didn't put all quart of extra tonight, but one of the pieces I grabbed did happen to be a little extra fatty, and also I think a little extra meaty. So it should be pretty good tonight. So I'm starting to think I need to get creative about the vomit problem. So I've been putting kibble around the base of the bowl to slow him down from scarfing and barfing. That's not working so well. Maybe I need to start putting balls in the food again for at lunch, but he still throws up even with balls in the food. So I remember when we used to do this at lunch, I was wetting the kibble. I was putting water on the kibble, trying to also slow him down and maybe keep maybe it help, being moist maybe help to keep it down. But he'd still manage to vomit that too. So I was starting to think, I haven't had time to do research on this, but I was thinking maybe if I can come up with a system where the food is elevated, so it's higher up. He doesn't have to bend down as much to eat, and maybe that will allow the food to slide down the esophagus more easily, and because of gravity. So I remember reading a while back that one of the reasons cats throw up is because usually when they're eating, their esophagus is completely horizontal, so gravity isn't helping getting the food down. So I was thinking if there's a way I can elevate the food bowl so his body's more upright, maybe that would help him from throwing up. One of the problems I got to solve though is he tends to push around the bowl trying to get to the food. And so any elevated system I have needs to be able to handle that and not spill or tip over. So move the balls. Scruffy didn't eat everything, just kibble. And I think I see party cuts. So yeah, so the most obvious idea is to prop up the bowl, put it on top of something. But if he pushes it around, then he might knock it off the stand. So I gotta think about this. I gotta find things I can actually use to elevate it. Yeah, for some reason I was thinking, recalling, I think I've seen pet food bowls that were weighted at the bottom. And I'm guessing that it's probably so the animal doesn't push the bowl around. Fortunately, none of my bowls are weighted. So, okay, folks, this is it. Okay, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.